Good evening and welcome to Pizza Roundtable, part of the Pizza Club Network. I am your one of your hosts, Jim Mumford, also joined by my co-host Anna Crucitt. Anna, good evening. How the heck are you?
Everything is great. It is gelato selling season. So
Oh,
we are just slammed right now, but I'm excited to be here tonight and have some fun chatting about pizza.
yeah, always love the chats. We haven't spoken since Pizza Expo. I know you were out there. Anything you want to share? Any tidbits? Any embarrassing stories about Michael? You wanna drop on us?
It's so nice I ran into him a few times. No, I had the most uneventful Pizza Expo of my life. I've been going for 10 years, and this year I had very specific tasks. Launched the John Arena Foundation. We hosted a luncheon for John and 120 members, patients, providers, Parkinson's, like families and groups and some people and pizza people and the World Pizza team. We made pizza for them and threw a huge pizza party at the Lou Ruvo Center where John gets treatment. And that was on Monday before the kickoff. So it was just a really awesome, lunch that we did to just kind of piece together pizza and Parkinson's and John's two communities together. So meeting his doctor, Dr. Mari, and the people who operate the center. That was really cool. And then I had to operate the Make-A-Wish booth. So that was another one of my goals I went out there with a mission to raise about $50,000 for Make-A-Wish. It'll do 9 wishes this year. And yeah, I got to 50,700. And that was not for a
Oh, wow.
lot of effort. What I learned about myself though, is that I really love selling product for profit and I am not interested in asking for money. I
Hard.
know I did it because it wasn't even about me or for me, but yeah, I'd rather sell you pizza.
Yeah, and we'd rather eat pizza. Well, that's amazing. I mean, you two back-to-back charitable days and spending it, and I know, like say, 10 years, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Probably great seeing everyone. I know we did some roundtables on Clubhouse and talking. Just everyone had their story. And by all accounts, everything the two events you said were a hit across the board.
Yeah.
So
It was. It was
congratulations.
I had so much leading up to it, leading into it. I was in charge of the new team jackets this year. I had a seamstress sewing on patches as Expo was rolling through. I mean, there were just so many moving parts to it, but by the grace of God, it just like all worked and I have no idea. I'm pretty well organized, but that was quite a task. All to come home to massive orders of gelato, which, sometimes you just kind of want it to snow in April.
Oh, it's snowing here in Michigan. Maybe if you
Send
got your wish,
my
just
way.
300 miles west. So thank you. Well, no, awesome. Just
How have you
incredible give your
been?
time. Good, cold, as aforementioned, cold. I don't know if I can say it, but I'll say it. But finally got a proof of a certain cookbook that comes out in June, featuring your creations, which is pretty fun,
Yeah.
among others. So probably talk about that in subsequent. But that has been proofing a book of your own. I would say a nightmare. It's a blessing. But to see every page and read everything and just it's nerve wracking, but fun, right?
Yeah.
Saying honor. So I think that's not quite hosting two charity events, the Pizza Expo, but still pretty busy.
It's all the same, right? Like
All the same stress.
we all have the same time and the same amount we put on and I honestly I didn't feel stressed about any of it. It wasn't a matter, it was just a lot of moving parts. And Expo, our booths weren't even near each other, so I felt like I didn't even stop to talk. Like unless you came to me, I didn't see you. And I ran into Michael because I my brother Joe is competing and it was like the only time I enjoy sitting for hours watching the competitions. That's
Amazing.
like my favorite thing to do at Expo is just sit and watch people make pizza, have them come out, just try to see like what their thought process and how beautiful they are, or sometimes they're not, so you just try to. I love doing that, and I didn't get to at all, and I was just like,
Oh, heartbroken. I mean, that's the fun, right? That's the especially when you're not on the line, right? You're sitting back and
yeah.
you get to
But
take it all in. But
I knew as that I sit on the board for the WPC for charities, and I knew taking the role that this year and next year would be my commitment to the team and to building it. And so, I'm young. I'll compete again in the future. But everyone's like, "Are you competing?" And it just like broke my heart to say no.
well, if you want to come to Michigan and watch me make pizza and judge me from afar, I'll send out some wine and some snacks and anytime. Probably not the same experience, but I can do my part.
Yeah.
I'll even screw one up on purpose just so you can, Chris. Well, you clearly that's on the
I'll judge the crust, the
listen.
underneath.
I've got two small daughters who do plenty of that, so I'm not new to it.
Those
Well,
are the hardest.
those are the hardest. Boy, if you can get past them, I could compete in any competition. But you know what? They don't have a filter.
Yeah.
So
They'll be like,
it's.
"Are you sure you want to put that on it?"
Are you sure
I was
this
like,
was your best work yet?
I did my best.
Yeah, like, well, there were two small children tugging at me. All right. Anyways, we have seven wonderful articles, six wonderful and one not. No, seven wonderful articles to get into. Are you ready to just dive right in?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. This first one is, as I pull it up here, because get to pull it up, featuring none other than our own Michael Fox. So Michael was featured in a PMQ article. So the article's titled for PMQ, Michael Fox, How the Man Behind Pizza Club Has Changed Lives Forever, can confirm. Amazing, right? So Charlie, had him on the PMQ podcast Appeal, which is a great listen. And please do go listen. But a great article about Michael, how he founded the Pizza Club, the community. Listen, I've benefited massively from meeting all the people through Michael. He has been incredible in my cookbook journey and just meeting people like you, Chef Anna. So, incredible read. So, first thoughts. Anything nice you want to say about Michael? Since I'm sure he's listening.
I I want to say that before I read this article today, I had a conversation with my gelato team because Sean, who is referenced in this article, is building out and putting gelato in his pizzeria. And I've been kind of helping him with that project. And I was talking to my gelato team about how we have this new pizzeria that's going to be buying our gelato. And I met him on the Pizza Club. He's from Pittsburgh. I never had met him in person, but I said, about 2 or 3 years ago, the Pizza Club in Vegas had a coffee, like just a get together. And I met Sean there and his wife. And it was like so fun to like put faces to the voices that you hear. And I was just like talking about how much fun Pizza Club is and just getting to know people who are in the industry, kind of hear about their story. I feel like I have personal connections now with people who I really wouldn't have connected with. You go to Expo and you see people, but it's not like you're sitting down and having a conversation about their sourdough starter. Not
Right.
in Las Vegas.
No, right? I mean, it just say it's
Like
so
on
fast
Pizza
paced
Club,
and
you're just like, you talk about everything. So, yeah, I was really, I said that just today, and then I saw this article and I thought, yeah, it really has changed my life too, and just how I have been able to like network and connect with people.
yeah. Sean's quote in the article, I'll read this word for word. Michael is genuinely the most humble, kind person. I agree. Trying to, launch my cookbook, gosh, 2 years ago at this point, picking his brain. Who do I talk to? Who do I connect to? And, half the people featured in the book are from Pizza Club. They're virtual friends that became real friends. Awesome that Michael, got his 15 minutes in the podcast. And just, it was a great article by Charlie. And please check it out. And please feel free to embarrass Michael and say all DM with all the nice things. He,
Yes,
please, for us,
he deserves the recognition,
he does.
because he's always like, we're the ones talking, but it's
Yep.
not us that does the legwork
No,
and the
no,
connections and all.
No, the production behind the scenes and everything. He truly is the glue, and he has impacted so many lives. So Michael, thank you. I do hope you're
Thank
whether
you.
you're listening live or in post recording. Thank you, and hopefully you're sufficiently embarrassed, and we can sing your praises again when I write the next article, whoever does. Awesome. Let's go on. Let's just change gears absolutely completely here. We're gonna talk about tax day. I know I love tax day. I'm sure you're the exact same. Casey's Pizza, they're doing what they can to help us out. So we're at convenience store news, must read every morning when I wake up. Casey's offers pizza refund deals. So at Casey's General Stores, who I absolutely love, giving customers a new way to save some dough on tax day. Instead of waiting for the IRS to issue their refund, you can go to get a pizza refund. So any Casey's Rewards members who purchase a large pizza will get a pizza refund in the form of a free large one-topping pizza credited to their account. So, Anna,
I
first
love
thoughts. What do you think? You're a big fan of Casey's and helping on tax day,
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's massive. I read that and I thought, I want to do that.
right?
I mean, that's cool. That really helps, people and also too, like it helps people to remember all year and the consideration set of like, where am I going to eat tonight? And you're like, I had that pizza and you're not just buying one pizza.
No. Have you ever had Casey's Pizza before?
No, but I've read.
Oh my gosh. I recently wrote an article, right, where I ranked the best gas station convenience stores food.
Mhm.
Casey's breakfast pizza number one. I will stand by that. So you're right. I think it's cool, right? It's a nice little thing. Yeah, it's a gimmick, but everyone has their gimmicks and their things. And tax day is very stressful. I'm sure this year is going to be a little bit extra on top. So you get that free pizza. It's rewards member, and it checks all the boxes. And although
I'll
one
tell you, I haven't been given any ounce of a refund in many,
no,
many years. And so I would really love a refund of pizza.
I'd be yeah, I
It would
absolutely
be the more than the government has ever given me.
yeah, right. Casey's, Uncle Sam,
I'll take it.
Casey's gives you pepperoni on top. So love it. All right. So this next one, I saw this. I wanted to get your specific opinion on it. So this one comes courtesy of Yahoo Life, mashed. Why Costco pokes holes in its food court pizza. So first thing, have you had Costco food? Have you had their pizza before?
No, I see.
I have once. I'm not a Costco guy. Please don't come at me. But basically, what it comes down to is the crust is I'm gonna call super perforated. So I know some chains, some places perforate the crust. This is like punctured, perforated all the way through. So have you ever heard of that? Is that obviously you don't do that with your Neapolitans, I assume, but talking about why you would perforate a dough before you
I mean,
bake it.
generally to help crisp it up, it just allows the air to flow through it. It keeps it from puffing and having holes through it. It's more consistent in the bake across the board. Also to kind of help loosen up the dough. Sometimes the dough can be tough, so people will dock it. But I mean, for any purpose that I would be using it is if I was sticking dough in an oven with no toppings on it. So
Blind,
that's
yeah.
why I would do it. But I don't have any purpose for that. I don't know why they get after it though. I've watched them make they're just
They
like,
get after it. I mean, that's what it's super perforated. That is the only way I can say it is they get, again, I know all types of pizza and perforating but the only thing I can think of is they've got that record player sauce machine. Have you seen this? Right. And I wonder if that's just that Layson sauce so thick that they need the holes. I don't know. And obviously it's super assembly line. Let's face it, this isn't our
mhm.
supply. No offense, Costco, but yeah, they perforate the heck out of that more than maybe I should. Maybe it's overproofed or they put some leavening in the dough. I don't know.
I mean, perhaps it's even underproofed, you
Maybe,
know? It's
maybe
just tight, and that's kinda how they can get it to
how they work it.
spread out. You know what? I know somebody who made pizza at Costco for a really long time,
Mm.
and I'm gonna ask him.
Please do. This one got me right. Again, I know pizza not like professional, but I can't. I understand when you dock like a tavern style, but just to go after a straight pan.
The crust isn't even tavern style, it's
No,
not
not even.
the cracker out of it. It's very much like a A standard crust, doughy.
Yeah. I I'm glad you're baffled because I'm baffled, and the article really gave no explanation other. You dock it so it doesn't, so it's docked. Like, oh, okay, okay.
Just because
Please
that's what
ask.
you're supposed to do. It
Yeah,
almost
because
sounds like
that's
that's how you make pizza.
which
It's not
again,
true.
no, it's not true. Good. Your befuddlement makes me happy.
Yes, but
No
I've
offense.
actually in my life have wandered that even outside of this of, reading the article and it kind of coming to my mind again. I remember like watching. I also don't frequent Costco, so and if I go I'm not getting pizza at the food court. Although I did hear that their hot dogs are the only thing that they lose money on every single year. Do you
Yeah,
know that?
yeah. I didn't know that, but it makes sense. They're like $1, and they're
And maybe it's Sam's Club. Am I lying to you? Is it Costco?
one of them. I know
One of
Costco. It's the chicken bakes.
One of them has committed to always having $1.50 hot dog and soda forever.
Well, gotta be eating there about 4 nights a week. Many hot
Yeah,
dogs as my kids
maybe
go
perhaps
through. So
people too, but I have not. And you know what? It's not even enticing enough for me to go and try it. So I'm not gonna.
same. Not a Costco guy. Sorry again. I catch flack from all my other suburban friends. I just it's not me. I'm too picky. All right. Again, wildly switching gears. We're going to foodtruckoperator.com. Again, get a must read of mine. So Donato's Pizza president CEO wants it to be a household name of pizza. So really interesting. There's kind of a dual read, right? So it talks about Kevin King, who's the CEO who rose up through the pizza industry. And, it's really interesting. But really what it comes down to, right, is Donato's, which is a Midwestern chain, right? I know it's big in Central Ohio. And he wants to compete with the big three. He wants to be, one of the big names and really just kind of hit it hard, right? Try to supplant even your Little Caesars. So Donato's familiar? Is that something you
I've heard of it, but I we don't have it in Pittsburgh. But I definitely know that brand.
yeah, I've had it too. I mean, no, it's fine. It's a fine kind of fast casual pie. I
They have
again,
two two
yeah,
hundred and how many locations?
it was yeah. He had like over 100. It's like 140 locations or something, which is, I mean, that's a lot. And I've got friends in Ohio. And look at the Niles is on every corner. I think it's what Little Caesars is here in Michigan. But yeah, it's interesting, right? Because you look about how pizza franchise scales, right? And there seems to be that limit where if you just can't for distribution, and again, all the reasons. I feel like they're one of those chains that's kind of hit that. And also, let's face it, the market's pretty saturated with fast food pizza.
Right.
So, but interesting. Listen,
Hard market to even break into. Like you'd have to really commit to opening, in Pittsburgh, one everywhere. You would, and even still, we have like, the Chellies, which is big in our area. I don't know, is that a nation?
I'm familiar with it because I know pizza, but no, it's basically in your neck of the woods, and that's it.
Yeah. So that kind of is the one that even, I mean, even Pizza Hut's not too big here. But we definitely have Little Caesars.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you, I don't think I've ever had it my whole life. Little Caesars pizza. I feel like should I go?
So here's the thing. I am biased, right? I live in Michigan. I will say Little Caesars varies vastly because it is franchised, right? I've had good, I've had terrible. However, if you go to Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, where it is specially made, that is excellent pizza. That is like B plus A minus pizza if you go to the arena, which has no business being that good, other than the names out there. Really, it has no business being like it's specially made. So should you run out and get it? Probably not, because again, it's franchise. It really does vary. But why it can be so good is it's a little more artisan, right? Where it's not just like completely Costco like automated, but you're relying on the artisans, which could be your skills may vary.
Sure,
So no,
sure.
you should not go out and get hot rate. A crazy bread though, their breadsticks are just don't look up the calories. They're pretty good, especially if you have a few. It's kind of hard to beat.
I usually say, if you have to look at the calories, you probably shouldn't eat it. I mean,
Yeah,
if that's like your
agreed.
your thing. And also too, if you eat a whole bunch of it and that's what breaks the bank, like You have other problems.
Yeah,
You know,
one day is not gonna make
one
or break you.
one batch of breadsticks, it's hopefully not all the time. But yeah, I've never had it. I've had Domino's only because I like attend kids' birthday parties and I've had it there. Pizza Hut as a little kid, we would go, but
Yeah,
I don't
the red
really like
cup.
one. So I feel like I grew up just eating local pizza shop pizza. And so that's what I stuck to. That I see these and I think, I feel compelled to try.
Yeah, I get it, right? And again, I grew up with a Sicilian household, right? And you want pizza was square in a pan, right? It
Yeah.
was just round, like
Yes.
that's
So
not
good.
pizza. Yes, correct. But yeah, you go to birthday parties, you go to other events, and it's pizza there, and you try it. Bad pizza's still pizza, but it's just always interesting. But again, that market's so saturated, right? Where we didn't even mention Papa John's, right? We didn't mention some of these
Right.
big chains. So listen, the world always is a place for good pizza and good pizza makers. Boy, so we're just gonna hard launch into the next one. So I'm just gonna before I even do it, what's your thought on caviar? Are you a big caviar fan?
Not particularly.
Yeah, same. Maybe just again growing up, we weren't doing bumps of caviar, but luckily there might be an option that might convert us. So Pizza Hut has just put its own spin on caviar with these pizza with pepperoni flavored pearls. So on Wednesday, it says May, pretty sure it's April 9th, the pizza chain announces plans to launch Pizza Caviar, which is a first of kind innovation meant to elevate the world's most beloved comfort foods. It's going to look and feel like caviar, but instead it's going to be smoky pepperoni flavor based on pepperoni flavored water and agar agar, which is a gelatin like thickening agent. Anna, what do you think about pepperoni caviar? Lay it on me.
Okay. I am so intrigued. I might just go find this pizza somewhere to eat it. I don't know where there is a Pizza Hut near my house, but I want to go find one. I seriously was reading that and I thought, that is how I want to eat pepperoni. I don't put pepperoni on my pizza. We just do Neapolitan style. So we don't even have like pepperoni in a restaurant. I will eat pepperoni pizza. It's just not my preference because I feel like I prefer the flavor of the sauce and the cheese. And I feel like the pepperoni is always like too much. But you had tiny little bite-sized bits of it. That this is this is really cool. I feel like I want to say I hate it, but in my heart, I don't.
If it's executed the way it could be, I think it
In
could
my
be really
head.
cool in my head. Right? You think of like the molecular gastronomy and all the things and the textures, and it's a little pop of pepperoni,
Yeah.
spicy flavor. It could be it could be really cool. The problem is, again, no offense to Pizza Hut, but I think caviar and molecular gastronomy. I don't always think Pizza Hut. So I hope that it's executed okay because if that texture is really gelatinous or really off-putting, it might melt on the pizza, right? So
That was my concern though, because in my head, I thought this would be something that you would top after. I couldn't imagine that going into the oven, right?
explode, right? I mean, just steam out and yeah.
I'm thinking of like boba tea or the little boba bubbles, not quite that there's a liquid on the inside of it, but I feel like they would have to be just topped after. If they went into the oven, I actually don't even know that I want to eat that warm. I feel like it should be at room temperature.
And the article kind of says it can be used right for just eating like caviar with a spoon or a cracker or something. To me, I think that's what I think. I need it ice cold with like a Parmesan frico or something. I think on a pizza, I think it'd melt, and at that point, you just kind of got pepperoni juice, which
Yeah.
I already have that. That's called pepperoni. So it's just pepperoni grease. So yeah, it's interesting, right? Listen, I love these gimmicks. I love the new things and the new way to eat to make the same handful of ingredients new again. But this one caught the takes on the internet. This just dropped today have been spicy. I've seen some TikToks and some reels of people just coming at it. So
Good. Honestly, I wanna know
compared to what
how it
they've
would do in
done,
gelato.
see now, and walk me through that. Walk me through that, John. We are going to pause this, pause any articles. I want you to walk me through live think what that gelato would be with the pepperoni caviar. What's the flavor? What's my base?
I think it would be like a in my head like a peppered basil gelato base. So that would just be like, blend up fresh basil in your base and your white cream. And I'd probably add salt depending if the pepperoni. And then in my head, as it's being extracted, I would just variegate it through because that would be like a little bit of green and then you'd have the red to it, Italian pizza looking. But if it if it doesn't get stuck in your teeth or you feel like, in your mouth, that would be tasty.
I
But again, cold. Like, I don't know why
cold has to
that's
be.
what comes at me. I don't want that like out of an oven.
No, first off, that sounds delicious. If you make it, I will pay for a pint to be shipped halfway across the.
Ship it to you.
Oh my gosh, that
Easy.
sounds so good.
I ship my gelato everywhere.
I know you do, and
Get it
it's
to you.
incredible. That sounds so good. But again, right, the burst of color and the flavor and just that, right? I trust you with that. Pizza Hut, I trust them. You
Where does one find these pepperoni caviar?
bet we could make it. I'm just saying. I think if you took pepperoni grease, right, rendered down pepperoni, and then agar, that's not hard, right? You make the gelatin, it balls up. I don't think it'd be that hard,
Separates.
right? Exactly.
I might try.
See that now we're getting to why we do this, right? This is art.
Really great. I'm being
Awesome.
serious.
I'm absolutely serious too. Like I
Okay,
cannot
good.
cannot wait to get into this.
I read that. I thought this I don't know why I'm not mad about it. It
Yeah,
sounds gross, but it actually sounds like really like such a fun, different way of using the same ingredients.
yeah,
Right? We love the flavor.
right.
How do you,
Texture right. I love it.
that's good Pizza Hut.
All right, next article, hard pivot. I'm just steering into hard pivots this evening. We're going to Pizza Need 40 fascinating statistics about pizza updated for 2024. Not going to go through all 40, but I wanted to hit just a couple and give kind of your quick fire thought.
Okay. I
Uh,
read a couple too that I,
3 billion pizzas each year, Americans. You believe that? You believe it's that high?
no,
I don't either. I think that's way maybe slices, but no way it's 3 billion pizzas. That's not a chance.
no.
No.
Yeah. Three slices, I would say was also, yeah.
Yeah, slices I could, yeah, but not a chance. The three, I can do the math. No. America's preferring thin crust over
Is that number 6? What number was
number
that?
3. Yeah.
Number 3. Because right at the beginning, there were a couple that I was like, I don't know where we're going with this. I don't agree with that at all.
No, I don't like,
I don't know anybody. I mean, maybe in the South, and I'm just totally missing the market here. But for me, it's definitely thick.
I
Or
mean,
medium. It's not thin.
no, listen, I love tavern style, right? It's my favorite style, good Chicago. But like, unless you're like, you interviewed like 10 people in northern Chicago, like, I don't get where they got that. So good. So here's
But
another one. Number 6.
number
59% of Americans choose to eat pizza in their homes rather than dine out at pizza restaurants. What do you think?
so I read that and I was like, oh shoot. But I do think it's true.
You do?
I agree with that. Um, because like my family, we don't go out, but we'll order pizza in. If we go out to get pizza, we come to my restaurant. So I guess I'm not like a good, I'm not part of that focus group. But I think that 40%, I agree. There was one though that was like number maybe 13.
93% of Americans have at least one slice of pizza per month.
That's a lot of people.
Well, here's the thing, right? I don't know many 2-year-olds eating pizza every month, right? I mean, what pop?
3% of that's what I'm saying. That's a lot of like
Like, what if you're vegan? Like, I call shenanigans on that one very hard.
okay, so here's how then there was one that says that Pizza Hut makes like 5.5 million. They have 18,000 locations and 5.5 million. And I kept looking at it like per location. How am I reading this incorrectly?
Yeah, number 26 doesn't make sense at all because, all right, I get they have that many, all right, chains, but 5.5 million you're just talking sales, not profit. That doesn't make sense.
Sales, that's like $200 a location.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they mean a day? 5.5 million
They
in a day.
must me a day. I'm so happy you're as befuddled by this
There were so
as I
many.
am.
I kept reading, and I was like, so in sales in the United States alone, like,
Like
what does
that
that even
that
mean?
doesn't that
It's
that
not a
math
lot of money for
the
18,000
math is for
locations.
the
It's not
math is
math.
not mathing.
It's not math.
No, agreed.
Also, this Domino's is the world's fastest pizza maker. I don't know about that.
I know about all that.
Pretty sure that I was at the pizza games and there was some faster pizza
There were
make
some much faster
faster.
pizzas,
Yeah.
and they weren't using the rollers.
David Whisker, yeah, holds a title there.
Yeah. A couple more that I want to call shenanigans. I'm pretty like DiGiorno was first introduced in 1995. Maybe I'm just old or feel old, but I feel like that's been around for a lot longer than that.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. And there was one, I can't remember. Maybe it was down. There was like one more grouping, but
Yeah, average
was
frozen
something
pizza costs
alarming.
$6.37. Like I haven't seen a frozen pizza unless they've got like 3 cent frozen pizzas. I'm calling shenanigans on that
That's
too.
right. It was talking about how, like, pizza, the average price of pizza was like between $6 and $16 if you're like in the big city. And I was like, New York is the one that it said. And I thought, $16? It's really like 46.
Yeah, not even. Yeah, I've got it right here in the
Yeah.
Big Apple, New York City. Like
I
no,
don't know. I don't
no.
know anybody who can you can't make money on that.
Like Sparrow doesn't even sell it for $16, right?
I
I
think
mean, good. Well, I'm glad that we again, if the authors of the article want to reach out to us and tell us we're wrong, please. But a
me
couple
too.
pizza experts are
She did link the articles that she was using, and if I had time, I would have gone through them, but I feel like I know enough.
listen, I think you and I got what we needed out of the article, and that was a healthy debate and bonding over the Giornos and feeling old that it's been around for that long.
It's definitely been longer.
I hope
Sure.
so, right?
1995,
That was just like a couple years ago.
20.
30. Yeah. I was doing that math in my head. Yeah.
Listen, I will never be able to subtract the 90s. Like, didn't happen. That is hysterical.
Yeah. Circle as you're staring down the barrel of 40 like I am. All right. Let's go to our final article from our friends at PMQ. And we're talking money again. So America's named their price for giving up pizza forever, and they're talking nearly 15 million initial reactions. Anna, what's your price? Money, envelope, open the case. You cannot eat pizza. You must still make pizza. How much? What's your price?
10 million.
Okay. I mean, 10 million. You
Seems
could do
like
a
a
lot
lot.
with 10 million.
Yeah, 15 million seems like I'd do it for 10.
Yeah, I mean,
One, not a chance. Not like 1 through 5 is like, no, no, I can, but you know, that's so hard because I can't some days go like I'm making the pizza and as they're going out into the dining room, I'm just jealous. Like I just wish that I could eat that pizza. So I don't know how I would actually be able to do it, but I can be bought.
yeah. I listen. I love pizza, but 10 million bucks, I can make. Again, what's pizza, right? I mean, if I put cheese and sauce, and who's gonna watch me, right?
Just dip in some bread, dip in the crust.
Exactly, right. I can do
Who's gonna watch me?
so.
Although it
Really,
did say um men were around 10 million and women were the 15 million, even though men are the one who eat more pizza.
yeah, right. It's kind of odd. Listen, maybe it's more of a treat, and really interesting survey, by the way. So go through this. I'm sure we'll link it. But you said men order pizza 44% more often than women. I think I buy that. Uh, We're more likely than women to know the differences among pizza styles. Don't know about that. It was close, but I don't know. I feel like you know it or you don't. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's 50-50. You either
yeah,
know pizza or you don't.
exactly. I hear an interesting one. Jalapeno peppers, raw jalapenos, do they go on pizza? Yes or no? Very thought.
Sure.
Yeah, I think just the only veggie that men preferred more than women were jalapeno peppers, which I like, but they do certainly have to be thoroughly cooked. I don't want to bite into a raw jalapeno. made that mistake before. So, but yeah.
Be a bad night.
But yeah, interesting article. And it was average. There's actually math behind it
Yeah.
and really interesting. Last couple things. Chicagoans prefer sausage. Basically, everywhere else prefers pepperoni. I think I could have told you that. And mushrooms edged out sausage for the number two in the toppings battle. I don't know that I would have guessed mushrooms being number two. I feel like those are divisive.
Pittsburgh.
No,
Yeah.
not here either. Maybe it's just a good Midwestern thing, but mushrooms.
Sausage is definitely, I mean, we don't sell pepperoni, so I don't have a say there, but sausage is definitely like tough after cheese.
Let me see. All right, last question. What's your favorite pizza? So I've loved your creations, but what's your favorite on your menu? Say, boy, I wish I were having that. You are going for dinner. One of your pies. What's your favorite? What are you going to?
You know what? This is not
I know.
fair.
I
Like,
know it's
which
not.
one do you like better? You know, it depends on the day.
Okay.
That's my comment here. Like, if I was just like, if I could only choose one pizza to eat forever for the rest of my life, it would be our margarita. Because it's the one that I eat the most. But I do absolutely love our Bianca, like the two most simple pizzas on our menu. If I'm going beyond that, if I'm recommending it to a customer, I would say our lasagna pizza. I had it at Staritas in Naples in, I don't know, 2012, something like that. It was earlier because I didn't have any kids. But I ate it and I was just like, this is unbelievable. The ricotta and the oregano, and it tasted like lasagna somehow, but not. It was on a pizza. So, anywho, I put that on my menu and we sell a lot of it. And I just like I really love it.
It's awesome. Good answer. And you didn't
What?
even mention my favorite. What's my favorite to make, or what's my favorite that you
Yeah, either, I guess.
you do the one? Is it contadina, right? With the
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is just that blew my
Planters,
mind.
peppers.
Just absolutely incredible pizza I make. And again, which breath is your favorite, right? Oh, there's one that it's the cover of my book, and it's special because my wife and I lived above a tavern style pizzeria, and we went there a lot, right? And you try with toppings, but we ended up with goat cheese, pepperoni, red peppers, and sun dried tomatoes, right? That just became our order, right? And it's kind of funny because it became our order, and other people ordering it and calling it our pizza, and it became the cover shot of the book. So that's my favorite pizza because it means so much.
Yeah,
If I'm making pizza though, sausage and jardinare is it all day. Hot sausage, jardinare, baked in, tavern style, or even Sicilian. I love it.
yeah,
That's me.
yeah.
The simple ones.
That's simple.
Yeah, right. I
That's
mean,
how we are.
well, it is funny. Oh, you don't put all this stuff. Like, no, most people like cheese. Maybe one topping, right? Because you don't
But
want
it's like I eat it. I eat our margarita pizza, and I'm like, gosh, this sauce is so good. It's like so delicious. So I don't. That's what I want to taste. You
to
know,
exactly.
like I like the other things. I like the red pepper on it. I like sometimes putting different types of salami or red pepper flakes or but if I'm just gonna quick eat a pizza,
Yeah,
that's it.
it's ours, right? And you just taste you want to
Yeah.
taste the love, so to speak. So amazing, amazing show as always. Chef, where can we find you on the air?
I am on Instagram at Anna dot Crucitt, and that's pretty much it. I'm not on TikTok yet.
Yet
Maybe
you will
someday.
be, right?
Cheerios. I will be. You know what? I am of like the old mind where I started my business before Instagram existed. So it's the word of mouth for me. But maybe someday if I have 4 more minutes in my day to edit a video and post it. I'll be honest though, today I was making gelato and I had some people like reach out to me who sell it and they were like, hey, just confirming my order or Sean was like really excited about, this moving along. And I said, I'm making molten lava cake right now. And then I sent someone else, I'm making pistachio. And I sent them a video of me making the flavor. They both were like, can I post this? I was like, what do I care? I'm
Yeah,
not going to.
yeah, right. That's funny. Then
Somebody will.
content and just someone will post it. I love it. Yeah, TikTok's not an art form. I'm not on TikTok again. You gotta be. I'm not viral. Anyways, thank you. I am at Jim Cook's Food Good wherever you consume your social media, and of course, I'm sure you already follow. But if you don't follow the Pizza Club, I Need Pizza Club. in Instagram, YouTube, and all the other wonderful locations. Thank you so much, Anna. Wonderful show as always. And I hope you
Fun
tune in.
chatting.
Yeah, always is. I hope you tune in next week for the next episode of Pizza Roundtable. Good night.
Ciao, ciao.